Yes, you've heard it right, the bloodiest battles.
No regrets, yeah, I'll tattle my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, we are tonight's entertainment and this is our first YouTube clip ever, so yay! In What Is series we will talk about series, movies, TV shows or any other entertaining concepts that interested you. And as now the TV world is excited about the Game of Thrones long-awaited spin-off House of the Dragon, we are going to talk about it, especially that we are not that far away from the release date. Like any other successful projects, HBO decided to make lots of spin-offs for its well-received series Game of Thrones. The spin-offs that we know about them so far are The Sea Snake, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, an animated series known as The Golden Empire, 10,000 Ships, and an untitled Jon Snow sequel, besides House of the Dragon as only a spin-off that is greenlit, including 1 season and 10 episodes so far. Brian Cogman actually developed the concept of House of the Dragon, but as he left the show, the writer Ryan Condal, who you know from The Cloney, and the director Miguel Sapochnik, who directed some remarkable Game of Thrones episodes including Hardhome, The Long Night and Battle of Bastards, which won some Emmys for these episodes, replaced him as showrunners besides GeorgeR.R.Martin in co-creator spot. Ramin Djawadi, the brilliant Game of Thrones composer, will return to Song of Ice and Fire world to score House of the Dragon. Let's see what's the story about, shall we? House of the Dragon is actually based on the GeorgeR.R.Martin's Fire&Blood novel published in 2018, which is a history of House Targaryen, the only dragon lords who survived the doom of Valyria. The book's storyline sets 300 years before Game of Thrones' beginning point, with Aegon the Conqueror, who you know as the creator of Iron Throne, and his two sisters, Rhaenys and Viserys, took over the control of Westeros with their dragons. But we are not gonna see what happened there. And it's actually kind of normal because it's still hard to create with all the dragons, castles, locations, and so many other stuffs. So let's jump 100 years later to Dance of the Dragons. You've actually heard before about Dance of the Dragons in Game of Thrones original show. We actually even had a OST titled as Dance of Dragons, where Daenerys is trying to escape with Drogon from the Sons of the Harpy attack. Dance of Dragons is actually a recall to House Targaryen's civil war, but let's see why did it happen. You may wanna listen carefully from now. Targaryens believed in primogeniture, but what is primogeniture? Let me read it for you. The system of inheritance by a firstborn child. A lord's first child will inherit the castle and lands of his or her father over another sibling without considering their abilities. But there were some exceptions in House of Targaryen, like what happened during the kingdom of King Jaehaerys, first of his name. King Jaehaerys' eldest son, Prince Aemon Targaryen, passed away, but he left a daughter known as Rhaenys Targaryen. Even so, King Jaehaerys decided to call his next eldest son, Prince Baelon Targaryen, as the heir to his throne. Prince Baelon Targaryen also died, but even so, King Jaehaerys didn't call Rhaenys heir to his throne. He told the Great Council to vote on the succession, so the council decided to vote to Viserys Targaryen, Baelon Targaryen's eldest son, over Rhaenys Targaryen's son, Laenor Targaryen. King Jaehaerys died, so Viserys became the king of the Iron Throne. Viserys Targaryen called Rhaenyra Targaryen, his daughter from his first wife, the heir to his throne. After Viserys' death, the Great Council still didn't consider Rhaenyra Targaryen as Viserys' heir to the throne. So they decided to pick Aegon Targaryen from Viserys' second wife. In this time, Rhaenyra Targaryen was married to her uncle, the Rogue Prince himself, Daemon Targaryen, which I believe is going to be the TV's next beloved villain. As you can see, the story has a long timeline, so we are going to see some characters age. I mean, we have two versions for some characters, a young and an aged version. And it's kind of predictable that show may extend for some more seasons. Why the bother? Let's meet the cast.
Paddy Considine as King Viserys Targaryen, a warm, kind, and decent man. Viserys only wishes to carry forward his grandfather's legacy, but as we've learned from Game of Thrones, good men do not necessarily make for great kings. Olivia Cook as Alicent Hightower. She is the daughter of Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, and the most comely woman in the Seven Kingdoms. She was raised in the Red Keep. Emma D'Arcy as Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, the king's firstborn child. She is of pure Valyrian blood. Matt Smith as Prince Daemon Targaryen, the younger brother of King Viserys and heir to the throne. Daemon is a peerless warrior and a dragon rider who possesses the true blood of the dragon. Rhys Ifans as Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, who loyally and faithfully serves both his king and his realm. As the Hand sees it, the greatest threat to the realm is the king's brother Daemon, and his position as heir to the throne. Eve Best as Princess Rhaenys Velaryon, a dragon rider and wife to Lord Corlys Velaryon. The queen who never was passed over as heir to the throne at the Great Council because the realm favored her cousin Viserys simply for being male. Sonoya Mizuno as Mysaria. She came to Westeros with nothing, sold more times than she can recall and could have built it. But instead she rose to become the most trusted and most unlikely ally of Prince Daemon Targaryen, the heir to the throne. And Steve Toussaint as Lord Corlys Velaryon, aka the Sea Snake, the Lord of House Velaryon, a Valyrian bloodline as old as House Targaryen. The Sea Snake is the most famed adventurer in the history of Westeros. He built his house into a powerful seat that is even richer than the Lannisters and that claims the largest navy in the world. Fabian Frankel as Sir Criston Cole. Sir Criston is the common-born son of the Estuard to the Lord of Blackhaven. He has no claim to land or titles. All he has to his name is his honor and his preternatural skill with a sword. Millie Alcock as young Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. Emily Carey will play young Alicent Hightower. Graham McTavish as Sir Harold Westerling. Sir Harold has served in the King's Guard since the days of King Jaehaerys. You will also meet Ryan Core as Sir Harwin Breakbones Strong, David Horowitz as Grandmaster Melos, Matthew Needham as Larys Strong, Bill Patterson plays Lord Lehman Bisbury, and Gavin Spokes as Lord Lionel Strong.
There is no Targaryen show without dragons. Viserys, Rhaenyra and Daemon Targaryen are the dragon riders in the show, yet officials confirmed 17 dragons in the show. As you can see from the characters mentioned, we are not going to see any familiar faces from the Game of Thrones original show, but we're definitely going to have some déjà vus over to some familiar looks. I mean, look at this. Like any other legendary fantasy stories, Game of Thrones also has main locations such as King's Landing and Winterfell or Dragonstone. Actually, Dragonstone is the main castle for House Targaryen. But we wonder which locations are we going to see or have a reunion with in House of the Dragon. Let's take a look.
King's Landing, the capital of Westeros. Dragonstone, House Targaryen's family home. Driftmark, House Valerian's family home. Dorne, the southernmost kingdom in Westeros. It was not under Targaryen rule during the Dance of the Dragons. Old Town, kept safe the Targaryen reaches during the Dance of the Dragons. Lys, one of the free cities of Essos, known for its brothers. The Stepstones, the broken land bridge between Dorne and Essos. Harrenhal, the massive fortress above God's Eye melted by Balerion the Dread.
Much of the drama takes place in King's Landing and Dragonstone. Dragonstone is actually the main castle for House Targaryen. The fighting primarily happens in Riverlands, and many of the bloodiest battles occur around Harrenhal and the God's Eye. Yes, you've heard it right, the bloodiest battles. The show will stream on August 21, but is it worth it to watch? GeorgeR.R.Martin revealed that he watched a couple of more episodes and he provided his thoughts in an April 2022 blog post. Let's take a look.
I saw rough cuts of a couple more episodes of House of the Dragon and was just as pleased as I was with the earlier episodes. Ryan and Miguel and their cast and crew are doing great work. Those of you who like complex, conflicted, great characters as I do will like this series, I think. There will be plenty of dragons and battles to be sure, but the spine of the story is the human conflicts, the love and the hate, character drama rather than action adventure.
So the answer is yes, it's worth it to watch, but like any other movies, TV shows, series, we still have to wait and see. That's the introduction to House of the Dragon and tonight's entertainment first episode on What Is series. Do not forget to check the upcoming episodes. Enjoy your Fire and Blood theme party. If this video was useful to you, please hit the like button. Do not forget to comment your thoughts on this show, and of course, hit the subscribe button. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram via links in the description. Valar Morghulis, you guys.